I've only got 10 players as well, yeah.
This meeting is being live streamed, right? we might be live. I don't know yet. I've not got this far before.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are. I just got the notification.
Are we live?
We are live.
Oh,
yeah. Cool. Flipping X going on here.
Right, I've done that, so I can't hear myself. So if I don't think if anyone is watching, then we're on it. We're trialing this. Hold on.
Can you try and not like pie me off this time when I start speaking, Alex, and just speak over me like you did last week? That'll be cool.
I'll try not to. Right, okay. Let's just try this now, shall we? For anyone who is listening, have you got the chat up, Callum?
Yep.
You making a note of the questions, Callum? So we flooded in.
Yeah, if anybody is watching, then let us know. Right, let's go to this, and then I will start recording on here. So let's start recording for the podcast viewers, listeners, etc. I'll get that off. No, I've not recorded it yet. Right, you ready, boys?
Ready.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to episode 21 of the All In Football Fantasy Premier League show. I am your host, the FPL guru, Alex Rex, and we are live. If anybody is watching, then thank you very much for tuning in. It's our first attempt at doing a live stream on YouTube. We've got, joining me today, Scott Williams, of course, as usual. And he's definitely joining me this week when you've seen his Fantasy Premier League week. And also, thank you very much for joining us, former manager of the month, Callum Burnett. How are we doing today, Callum?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks for having me. Excited.
Thank you ever so much for joining us. Callum's going to be monitoring the live chat because, to be honest, I don't actually really know how right now. So let me know if anyone does put anything in. And Scott, how are we feeling? Your game week from the gods?
Yeah, feeling good, Alex. It must be said. I've had quite a weekend of celebrating and getting my Bruno Fernandes shirt printed, and yeah, it's all come together quite nicely. I just really wish Alex Telles will get off every single set piece in this match and give one to Bruno.
Yeah, you are watching the Man United game at the moment, and you'll definitely have the Spurs game on as well. We'll be doing a little watch along for the second half of these games for the period of time that we are broadcasting live. How do you feel about the Bruno captaincy, Scott? I know obviously it's worked out for you, but having looked at the games, how do you feel about Bruno as an asset still?
It's a tough one because the stats are there. He plays so much better when he doesn't play with Ronaldo. I feel like he gets on the ball more, and I actually feel like he feels like the main man again. So I don't feel I wasn't delighted to have him in my team, but it was an easy call for me when the Spurs Arsenal game looked very much in doubt. I had the money, and it was very much a gamble. Fixture wise, I'll be honest, Alex, I've done my usual thing of only looking forward to 1 week in the future. So if you could, what are the fixtures like?
I will cover the fixtures, don't worry. It's a big thing moving forward because hopefully after the Premier League potentially going to change their rules as to why they're going to start actually postponing games. They're going to start changing the rules and that, making that a bit tighter.
I've just looked at the fixtures, and West Ham, Burnley, Southampton, Leeds, Watford, and then a couple of tough games after that. They're not the worst fixtures in the world, are they? But
they're not.
Will I be getting Salah back in? Yes, I will. So probably won't be holding him.
The interesting thing about your team, I have to say, is that you've got Kevin De Bruyne. So you can't really afford to have De Bruyne, Salah and Fernandes. So one of them's going to have to give way. And it's probably inevitably going to be Bruno from looking at what we've done so far. I will, first of all, quickly recap on the last game week because we hadn't quite finished it last time we broadcast. And it was the West Ham show game week 21. Fabianski in goal, Soufal, Diop, Bowen, Lanzini, and Antonio. There was 6 of our 11 players were West Ham players. I mean, you get it with having a double game week sometimes, but sometimes everyone's like, should you really invest in double game week players? You should when their double game week is as good as what West Ham's was. So if you have a look at Soufal here, for example, when you're going to be playing the fixtures they were, which was Palace and Norwich, wasn't it? Was a double game week. So they played Leeds in a single game week this week. But when you've got Palace and Norwich, it is worth getting on double game week players, and obviously it's worked out really well there. Rosselló with 14 points, Davinson Sanchez with 15, McAllister with 15. You talked about Gordon, Scott, as well. So you called his form, and it has to be said as well that under potential new management, Duncan Ferguson taking over for now, we've got who knows who's coming in afterwards. They could be a bit more refreshed. And Gordon, he seems to be being picked. He's played 90 minutes in his last 3. He's got attacking returns in 2 of his last 3. He's started, I don't know, he's only missed 2. Yeah, he started 5 of the last 7 and even beyond that point. So he seems like he's an option. He features all of the time. So if you are looking for a really quite cheap 5th midfielder, you could do worse than Anthony Gordon, but I think a lot of us are going to be wanting 5 midfielders at the moment. Diallo for Southampton. And then shout out to managers of the week last week, and I didn't even call these 2 guys at all when we were talking about the people. David Burns to lose, wasn't it? I think that's what I was quoted as saying. And he did lose it. So, I mean, it's a bit mean to put it that way, but Adrian Chippendale, shout out, 90 points. The Soufal haul in the second game really proved dividends for him at that point. So well done to AD Chip. And also, same amount of points as him that week, Jamie Varley, shout out to him as well. 90 points each last week. Jamie did take a -8 to get his, and Adrian didn't have to take any hits. But I'm not going to start doing the, get your manager of the week because of your hits again.
Oh, that's Tommy Hughes thing, yeah.
got some bad traction that as well. I did it to poor Baz. So you don't get your manager week for taking a -24. Yeah, I've still not lived that one down yet. I don't think. Just much like my still not putting Bernardo Silva in the team, and touching on game week 22. So this week, Jack Harrison. Oh, Scott, what's happened? What's going on?
Matt Doherty nearly getting on a score sheet.
Has he come on?
He's come on for Emerson Royale. So some of the people we know, i.e. Martin, one of our friends, decided to leave Cancelo on his bench and bring in Emerson Royale for half a game of football.
Oh my God. When he was supposed to have a double game week. Oh, this game is brutal sometimes. It hurts.
At least we didn't do a comparison of Emerson Royale and Reguilon at all. So.
I know. Yeah. Well, at the moment, one's getting 1 point and one's getting 2, aren't they? So
I would say Reguilon is everything's gone through that side through Reguilon so far in this game.
Well, that's why we do the watch along, I suppose, as well. You need to get do the eye test. Who got Kane's assist?
Harry Winks.
Harry Winks. Okay. Well, don't buy him, everyone. Guru's tip, first tip of the day. Speaking of Cancelo, here he is. Game week team of the week so far. Cancelo and De Bruyne for Man City in there. We've got Butland, Webster, who scored last night, done really well. Robertson, Ait-Nouri, Harrison Fernandez, Ramsey, Ziyech and Ida. I mean, he seems to be playing pretty much every week as well at the moment. Adam Ida. If you were going for a bench forward, 4.9 million, someone like him or Brozier as a third striking option, you could do a lot worse. Just he's someone who's going to sit on your bench, who's probably going to play. But a couple of options actually in here that I wanted to touch on, and we'll probably get into a little bit more detail moving forward with a couple of the questions. But Ait-Nouri at Wolves. Now, Wolves' fixtures aren't the best in the world. They've got Brentford, then they've got Arsenal, Spurs, Leicester and West Ham. So I wouldn't be going too heavy on Wolves, but they have had some really good results most recently, and they've only conceded 1 less goal, I think, this year than Manchester City have. So they've got a really good, solid defence. If you are building a wildcard team at this very moment in time, Ait-Nouri is almost a no-brainer 4th or 5th defender. He was injured, and these are the only games that he's missed, the 3 games. Marcel Marcao played got 6 points, obviously, in all of these games, and then got dropped. Still back for Aït-Nouri. So it feels like Aït-Nouri 90 minutes in all of these, 90 minutes when he's back. He could have had a couple more assists, never mind the one that he got for the penalty in that game. He had 2 assists in the end. He did, and he could have had even more assists than that. And quite simply, he looked like most of their attacks went down that left-hand side through him. So if I was building a wildcard team right now, or looking to try release funds to maybe get Salah back, which I think a lot of people will be looking at the get Salah back options, even though they've just won 1-0 in the AFCON. So they are through to the knockout rounds. So fair play to them. I'd be looking at someone like Aït-Nouri. What have you made of Wolves, guys?
I think they've been all right. Nothing too exciting, but just. Yeah,
Didn't you bring Cody in this week, Callum?
I did bring Cody in this week, but I was only planning for these next 2 weeks, maybe, and just see what happens. Yeah. So I got on that one at the right time, luckily. But yeah, like you said, the pictures after just change.
I was debating Cody or Kilman in the fantasy draft, and one of them hit the post for the other one to score. It wasn't the one I went for. Wolves have continued to surprise me all season with how they're just keeping these clean sheets and just grinding out results. I think they've been unbelievable. I think they're a great asset, and I think Aït-Nouri is one of those. If you keep him Marcal out of team, so I think he would get into most teams, wouldn't he? Let's be honest, that Marcal. I think when you're keeping him out of the team, you've got to be some player, and him and Kilman, to me, look unbelievable at the back for them.
When they started the season really rocky in terms of results, I mean, they lost 5 of their first 6. You know, they weren't looking good. Everyone was like, oh, bring back Nuno. They've won 3 games, 1-0, Bruno Lage out, and now look what's happened. So it's definitely gone the other way. But yeah, Wolves are a team that you can have one of their defenders in your side, and Jose Sars looked fantastic. Let's be honest, as a goalkeeper, he's the top point scoring goalkeeper in FPL this year. I think he's 1 point ahead of Ederson. When I was looking, 95 points. He's nearly got 100 points already for a goalkeeper, which is fantastic. So yeah, definitely some people to consider. And then before we just get into questions, I will just have a look at the league table and the All In Football Podcast Premier League.
I think it's
Gavin Webb.
So I think it's just really quickly great to see Jack Butland on 11 points. Just for him, he was such, he's still young enough, and he performed so well in that game for Palace, and he's going to be keeping quiet out the side. So I'm glad that he's had a bit of a bounce back.
Well, we were debating before, weren't we, about should he be somebody that should play for England?
Yeah, well, he went to the World Cup, didn't he, in 2018? So
yeah, it's just like, should he be number one? It was literally there was a debate. Like Pickford nearly didn't play in wherever the World Cup was in 2018. I've put it to the back of my mind because we didn't win it again, and I just can't think about these things.
Reguilon.
What's he done?
He's had a good chance. He's had he's had a shot on target.
Well, fair play to Reguilon owners.
Anyway, get back to who's doing well this week. Anyway,
yeah, Gavin Webb, top of the league with 63 points. He's had a fantastic couple of weeks. Want to touch base on a couple of things that he's done actually, which I think are really noticeable. First thing being the double Liverpool defence. That's actually a question that I got asked about this week, which was, well, doubling up on Liverpool defence was the question, but is it time to go Trent, Robertson and Salah when they come back, and is Jota now dispensable? Which seems a little bit crazy as a question, considering how much everyone was talking about Jota being super key and so important. And he went through a phase of being 7, 7, 2 and 5. He got 3 in his last game. He was getting 8, 14, 8 in terms of returns earlier on in the season. With Firmino back fit, when they're back from AFCON, Salah and Mane, Jota versus Robertson. What do you think, Scott?
It's a tough one because Jota with Mane and Salah is just a different prospect altogether, just like Liverpool are as a team. I think for me, if one of them comes back, that's maybe not enough. I would probably lean on Robertson because he does, he doesn't get quite as, he doesn't take as many free kicks as Trent, but that Liverpool defence is solid, and he bombs forward. He's one of the main attacking outlets. But I think for me, I wouldn't be rushing to get rid of Jota if one or two of the boys are coming back, because he is just a different proposition when you got Mane and Salah either side of him for me.
Callum, thoughts?
Yeah, it feels a bit knee jerky, a bit soon, especially with Egypt looking like they're going to go through to the next round. I think it's worthwhile holding on a little bit. It's not that expensive, so you're not really tying up too much money in your team either.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Gavin gets back to Salah, and I feel like Jota almost has to be the 4 guy, and if he isn't, then does he go, because he's got 2.5 in the bank, does he go Robertson to an 8 Nuri and then get like Mount out for Salah? Because Chelsea have, just quickly to let you know about Chelsea in case anyone didn't know about them. They've got Spurs next, and then they've got 2 blanks because they're at the Club World Cup. Then they play Palace away, and then they've got another blank because they're in the League Cup final before they have one of the best fixture runs out of anybody, 28 to 33. And within 28 to 33, you'd expect them to have a double game week as well. They'd have to have one of these fixtures that's been cancelled, probably put into here. I'm likely to have a double game week in 36, depending again on their participation in the FA Cup. So, yeah.
I suppose it's Champions League pending as well, isn't it?
Yeah, Champions League pending.
Potential for a triple game week.
There is potential for a triple game week, especially for Burnley. They've got 5 games to catch up on, and they're not in any competition still. They're out the FA Cup, I'm pretty sure. Don't want to get that wrong.
They lost to Huddersfield, I think.
That was it. They lost to Huddersfield. They're obviously not in the League Cup anymore. They're obviously not in Europe. They have every free slot possible, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if there was a triple game week for them. Yeah, they're probably just being doubles. But yeah,
Andy Carroll captain that week. What?
Imagine the scenes with Andy Carroll captain. So yeah, I'd just be interested to see how Gavin gets back to Salah. I think that's going to be an interesting point.
Gavin, if you're watching this, let us know in the chat.
Oh yeah, let us know if you are watching. I don't even know if I'll let him know that we're doing it. I don't even know if he does Instagram or whatever else. But let us know if you are watching, Gav. Might just drop him a text. We're live. Drop in. Come on, lad. Step up. I want to know what your plans are, Mr. Whatever he is in the world at the moment, Mr. 10K in the world. Ooh. And that'll do, won't it? So going back to defence, moving forward in terms of fixtures with Chelsea, one of the questions was, is it time to jump off Chelsea and Arsenal? Actually, funnily enough, the question came, is it time to jump off Chelsea and Arsenal? But Chelsea defence in particular, they've only won 3 of the last 11. Is that when I was watching Match of the Day? That was the statistic that was thrown at me, and obviously they've not been keeping clean sheets anymore. Should we be looking to keep a lot of money at the back? We've discussed Robertson already. He's been one of the highest point scoring players. He's scored more points than Trent has most recently as well, Robertson. I'll get those numbers up in a minute. But should we be looking to double up on someone like City with their fixture on Southampton, Brentford and Norwich? Laporte has performed incredibly well recently. Let me get his statistics up. But what do you think, boys, looking at those fixtures? And what's your plans with your defences?
I'm aiming to get rid of my Chelsea players. I'm not going to lie. I'm only able to get rid of one at the moment this week with the Aston Villa situation. Mm-hmm. But I'll be probably looking to get rid of both of them with that sort of fixture run.
Yeah.
And then can always use a wild card to then reset it back when it all settles down again.
So this is the Laporte run. Thanks for filling, Callum. Appreciate that. When I was getting my numbers up. He got 2 points against Watford, but then he got 7, 6, 6, 10, 6, 6, 7, and he's played 90 minutes in all of his last 8. Even more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that 9? 9 fixtures? 8, 9 fixtures. But he's played 90 minutes in all of those last ones there. He seems relatively nailed.
I was going to say it's probably due a rest. Okay, about 10, and they usually drop him for 1.
You know it is with Pep, don't you? But he was the go-to player for Pep in the 18-19 season. He was the guy that played all of the matches, and he was the centre-back. I mean, it was Diaz last season. He tends to stick with one centre-back and then rotate the other one. It's kind of a little bit odd, but that's just what he weirdly seems to do, does Pep. Laporte at 5.6 million seems like an option that is somebody that is, actually potentially someone that you could go for, and especially when you look at Diaz at 6.3, so he's obviously 0.7 million more expensive, and he got resting against Chelsea. I mean, he must have had some sort of injury there. Oh, Kane should have given that to Moura, shouldn't he, when he scored? Selfish man. So Chelsea he didn't play there, and he played 90 in the 3 before. I suppose he started all of the ones previous to that, but anyway, I think Laporte, in terms of money and in terms of actual value and minutes and points return, seems to be doing really well. Are we staying big at the back? The midfield options are still relatively affordable. We don't want to put that much money into strikers, or do you want to get involved with Harry Kane now you've seen him score? Do you still think that you're going to be keeping, when you're getting rid of those Chelsea players, Callum, for an example here, do you think you're going to be going with another player that's more expensive or releasing money? Because you've still got Salah, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to stick with him. I just wasn't excited enough for anyone else. Oh, I did mention Fernandes, and then I've been annoyed at myself for not being bold enough. But
I do think you've been wrong, though, with Bruno.
Yeah, I think it would have been for a game week or two.
Yeah, personally. I think Scott's obviously like this week. I mean, Bruno, I'm pretty sure his XG was 0.3 and he only had 2 touches in the opposition's penalty area.
Mm-hmm.
So he absolutely wasn't like the right option to go for at that point. But yeah, it's ended up being something that's paid off really well in the end anyway. So yeah, I think for anybody that was the person that was asking that question, if you wanted to double up on City defenders moving forward, you can do, and I don't think it'd be a terrible move to do that. But yeah, I think moving forward, we might start wanting to see people putting more money into the midfield options. So let's move on to Man City and Man City midfielders, shall we?
Go on. Just going to say it's 2-1. James Maddison scored.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, 1-2 with Harvey Barnes.
That's lovely.
It was a very nice goal. Bit lucky with a deflection. It went in off Sanchez, but yes, 2-1 now. Just everyone jump on Maddison.
Well, a lot of people did.
Have.
Yeah. Did you have him for this game week then, Cal?
No. I was gonna, but then who did I go from the end? Lucas.
Yeah. So in essence, it was Lucas Moura had a double game week, then now doesn't. Maddison had a double game week, then didn't. So everyone was planning on who they were going to bring in and who they weren't. But anyway, listen, it's you go with the information that's in front of you. While we're on it, Man City midfielders. We in the last let's do this by form. Let's do this by form because I wanted to get onto here. There it is. Kevin De Bruyne is back. Talk to me, Scott.
He looks back. He looks back. So I was saying previously, he didn't seem to get involved very, very sort of high up the pitch. But I must say, when I watched on Saturday against Chelsea, he was getting involved a lot more. We've said it before, he's Pep's main man in that middle. He doesn't get rotated very often when he's fit. He usually plays at least 65, 70 minutes of the game. He looks like he's getting back to Kevin De Bruyne things. And his finish was just, in a tight game like that, that's the kind of goal you need. And it was just brilliant, his finish. So I've seen that he's the second most transferred in player behind Coutinho this week, I believe. Yeah, so I think he's getting there. Yeah, I wouldn't maybe not panic too much getting him in, but he's certainly one to consider if you've still got your funds freed up from Salah. And I've just seen City's run. My God, yeah, bring him in.
Yeah, City's run of fixtures is, and yeah, whilst we are on that, I'll just obviously put this back on. But Southampton, Brentford, Norwich, but Spurs, who aren't exactly solid at the back, Everton, Man United, Palace, Brighton, Burnley, until they play Liverpool at home in game week 32. They've got a really good run. The only thing that goes against them is they haven't got any fixtures to be rescheduled. They're one of the only teams that are actually up to date in terms of fixtures. So likelihood of double game weeks is basically zero. So they'll be playing the fixtures that are put in front of them. But if we have a look at Opta stats and we have a look on the Fantasy Football Hub, amazing tools, these. He's featured he's played 515 minutes. He's played all 6 of the last games. His expected goal involvement was 3.8 and his actual goal involvement was 5. So he's performing above his stats at the moment. Mahrez, when he comes back, these two don't rotate with each other, which is important. Like they play different positions. So if Mahrez does come back, he was actually showing some really good form before he went to AFCON, and Algeria seemed to have bombed out the tournament. I think they're playing tomorrow and they have to win. And I think they need the result to go their way. Other results go their way. Maybe not, but they have to win their game tomorrow with 1 point bottom of their group. The other player to consider, which is the other player that I think Gavin Webb had in his team on his wild card, I'm pretty sure, from what I said, was Raheem Sterling. That was it. That's what I wanted to double check, which is the other thing I wanted to, if Gav was in the chat, to ask him about anyway as well. But he's gone with Sterling as his option at 10.7. He's played 4 games, so 360 minutes. But in terms of his XGI, he's right up there. He's basically performing pretty much on his statistics. He is creating big chances. He's played some key passes. I think this is one of the biggest ones, though, isn't it? Key passes, De Bruyne, 20. Then 12 for Mahrez, 9 for Bernardo, 7 for Foden. And even when you're looking at people who are having the most shots, De Bruyne has had the most shots in these games. I know a lot of them came against Leeds, but he's still far and away the best, I think, personally, in terms of options. Would you consider doubling up on City's midfield? Or is that too much Pep Roulette scariness for you?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because I'd potentially a De Bruyne / Sterling, and then maybe a Foden and Mahrez if he's back. One of those. I think it's too much of a gamble to go De Bruyne and Sterling because you're just locking up too much money.
Yeah.
But with that fixture run coming up, I would certainly, as a De Bruyne owner, I'd be looking at getting in maybe a Foden. Just because that run is so tasty and you know they're going to be creating chances. So for me, if you go for them, it's not too much of a gamble, no.
When we were looking at the way that City set up as well, a lot of, they weren't being very creative down the left-hand side. Grealish just doesn't seem to have, like every time with Pep players, aren't they? First season they're there, they just don't seem to quite click. They seem to take like a year almost to get involved in the system and the way that they play. So my only hesitation is if Foden plays on the left rather than through the middle, because he seems to get most of his returns when he plays through the middle in that false 9 role. But him and Jesus might rotate. But yeah, I think to answer the question of City midfielders, is KDB back? Yes. If I could have a City midfielder right now, I'd have Kevin De Bruyne. It's proved dividends for you in particular, Scott, with 5 or 6 green hours in the world. You've gone from nearly 1 million to 400k. You know, you've had a really, really good run recently. And one of the players that you got on early was Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
So shows it. I mean, Champions League coming back, there's going to be a rotation. You have to just take it on the chin. If he doesn't start a game, don't moan about it. You picked a City player. Like it's with the Foden situation. I mean, it was annoying that he didn't play because he went out and got drunk, but he still with Pep Roulette, it is what it is, which is also why I don't want to triple up on them. So I've got Cancelo and Foden at the moment. I'm probably not going to get De Bruyne in as well. Anyway, got plenty of money in the bank. Callum, your thoughts on City? I know you love Pep Roulette.
Yeah, it really winds me up. That's why I'm getting rid of him this week. If I wasn't moving to get rid of my Chelsea players, I probably would be putting De Bruyne in for salary, even after holding Salah for so long and missing out on making more money out of him. That's probably where I'd be going. How he's playing, and his stats, it seems the obvious choice.
Yeah, I agree. And Scott, you're just to finish off the who's smashing this game week point. Scott Williams currently on 81 points. This is live feed, 81 points. With his captain still in play, Bruno Fernandes, who is playing deep again. But Bruno's in play. You currently don't have Salah in your team, Scott.
No.
Are you going to then give Bruno the one more game because they've got West Ham next. Are you going to give him the West Ham game and then drop him for Burnley, Southampton, Leeds, and Watford, or are you going to give him the West Ham and Burnley game and then miss out on Salah against Leicester, or are you just going to drop Bruno next week? Or what are you going to do?
I'll be getting Salah in as soon as I can, regardless. I don't care who they're playing. He's too good. It's Salah. And I feel like he's going to come back and be like, remember me? Been away a few weeks. I'm back, baby. Bruno just looks like a different beast when he plays with Ronaldo. One of the things you've said before, Alex, is I like my big players to be exciting players. As much as Bruno got 2 goals the other day, there wasn't too many sweats. Didn't get the ball very often and start getting involved too much. It's not like the Bruno he was last year or the season before when he came in January. He's nowhere near getting on the ball enough. So I will be dropping him as soon as Salah becomes available again. He will be the one going.
Yeah, I absolutely don't blame you whatsoever. And I want to just show you very briefly a little bit of a Bruno Fernandes comparison whilst I watch Anthony Elanga score for Man United. Get it.
Oh, any Bruno assists?
I didn't see the assist actually, but I'll.
I'm on it.
I'll have a look at it. I'm on a bit of a lag for the United game, so.
Fred.
Yeah, go on, Frederick. Honestly, some of the weird points that you were saying this week, Alan, weren't you? Like, where's Højbjerg come from? Like some of the points, like from Kovacic, Jorginho, Fred, McTominay this year. Like, we've never had a season like it where there's been so many. That's a fantastic pass by Fred, by the way.
So good, I've just seen it, and it's a great finish. Great finish by Elanga.
Oh, he's really 4.8 mil Elanga. And he started 2 in a row, and I feel like Rangnick really likes him. And again, if you were going to put a fifth midfielder in there, you'd have to take the rotation on the chin as you would do with a player like that. So you can't have too many of these players in your squad at once. But if you wanted to have someone like Elanga in, he's going to be a hell of a differential. I mean, I don't think anybody owns him in the top 10K. Let's have a look, shall we, on Live FPL. How many people in the top 10K right now own Anthony Elanga?
0.2%. 0. Wow.
0 people.
That's a differential.
There's an ultimate differential if you wanted to. What I really love is Fred. Look at him. 0.2.
They'll be buzzing off that assist.
Oh, they really will be. How many people is that, Callum Quickman? 0.2 in 10,000 people. It's very, very good, is that. Right, Optus, that's Sunday. I wanted to just quickly do a Bruno comparison and show you this season to last season on all statistics. Let's just go with attacking simple, and let's just do the graphic. Tell the story. This is when he was Ronaldo came in what game week 4 or 5 or whatever it was, and yeah, I mean his points per start they're half. As expected, his XG is 0.5 last season. It's 0.15 this season. Like, Bruno and Ronaldo don't play well together. It's a fact. Bruno got dropped from the Portuguese squad because literally they couldn't do good at all. So yeah. Anyway,
what were his stats at the start of the season? That's quite interesting.
Bruno's,
first 5.
Yeah.
In comparison,
smashed it first game against Leeds, didn't he?
Do you know what I mean? There it is. In terms of his XG, 0.36 compared to 0.5, so it wasn't quite as good. But comparison-wise, his points were 6.6 compared to 6.7 the season before. Like, this sounds really quite, we don't want to. If Ronaldo gets an injury, but to be fair, the way Rangnick's playing is a bit more of a 4-3-3. Ronaldo's got wrestled in the box there, by the way. It's a bit more of a 4-3-3. So I still don't think he's an option to have a look at. But we've touched on that. We've had a quick yes or no on this one. Callum, you've already got Salah, so straight back in when he comes back from AFCON, but you've still got him. You're going to keep him now. You're not going to take him out and put him back in. You're not going to waste 2 transfers now, are you? If you're going to do it, you'd have done it before. Scott, you're bringing him straight back in for the Leicester game, and so am I. So the question, AFCON, Salah straight back? Yes. Yes is the answer to that question. Question came in about Coutinho. And is it time to get on Villa? interestingly, this week, I don't know if it's been announced yet, if this happened or not, but the great Ben Crellin on Twitter, if you follow someone on Twitter about fixtures, this guy is he's one of the biggest boffins in terms of figuring out fixtures. I don't understand how he does it sometimes. He even takes into account like when teams have to play because of TV rights and stuff. Like it's just and that's something that I was watching FPL Wire earlier, which is go on, Scott.
Sorry, Harvey Bart. Sorry, James Maddison did brilliant, and then he should have squared it, and he shot, and he got tackled.
But yeah, he's just great. I was watching the FPL Wire, which has got three fantastic FPL players. Then all the three Indian lads actually, and they really know their stuff. And yeah, they were talking about it earlier as well, and they had this graphic up. It's looking highly likely that Villa are going to have a double game week in game week 23, which is this game week that is coming up now. And it's looking like they're going to play Everton, which they are, because that fixture's already nailed in. But they're probably going to have to play the Burnley at home or Leeds away, because Burnley have got a lot of fixtures to get stuck into. Obviously, 5 missing in terms of postponements. It looks like, because Villa are out the FA Cup, and obviously so are Burnley and so are Leeds. There's going to be a double game week in here for either Leeds, who'll have Newcastle and Villa. And also Villa then will have Everton and Leeds, but Burnley almost kind of have to have one because they're that far behind, and if they do have one, it'll be Villa. So there's still a chance Rafinha could have a double game week this week, but I think it's highly likely it's going to be Everton and Burnley against Villa, and Villa will have a double game week, and Leeds won't, I think. So looking at Villa options, should we do it? Let's look at Villa. So let's quickly go on statistics, and let's have a look at just the players that you've got for Aston Villa. Coutinho, talk to me. What did you make of him for his 17 minutes that he came on and robbed a point off Man United?
Everyone,
not biased at all.
everyone seemed to want to pick him out. All the players seem to know he's the main man and love struck by him. So I think he's going to get a lot of the ball when he comes on. He was involved in that 17 minutes in like about 4 chances, just in and around the box. Yeah. We don't really, I mean, I'll be honest, I know he's been very injury prone over the last couple of years. I know he did quite well at Bayern. Funnily, like knocking Barcelona out of the Champions League when he's still a Barcelona player. That was quite funny. Yeah. He's not really had the run of games abroad, but I still think he's got it, if I'm honest. It just depends on the rotation with the injuries, and there's a lot of players that I feel like that position for Villa is quite a keen position. I feel like there's a lot of kind of players around there.
Yeah. What do you think? Ramsey, Buendia, all the same type of player? Like, how are they going to all sort of fit in? Like, Buendia played 90 minutes, Coutinho played 22, and Ramsey played 90. So they were all still on the pitch. Coutinho came on for Ings. No, Ings played 14 minutes and had 14 minutes off. I can't remember who he came on for.
We'll find out. We'll find that out for you.
Yeah. But go on, Bruno's in. Bruno's in.
He scored.
Squared it. He squared it to Greenwood.
Has he?
Yeah, he squared it to Greenwood. So it's an assist, but Greenwood might be offside here.
Oh no.
We'll have a look at that. He was just powering through. Greenwood's been being picked as well, by Rangnick. And Rangnick settled on this Greenwood, Elanga, and Fernandes.
It was Jacob Ramsey came on for me.
How did Ramsey come on? Ramsey played 90 minutes. That's weird.
He's going to be offside. Oh, I think he's on.
I thought it looked off to me when I was watching it live. You're slightly ahead of me here, but what a little touch off by Ronaldo that is. Hold your run, Mason.
Please be on.
Oh, that is so close.
It's going to be lines, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be lines. Right, we'll let the lines happen. Yeah. So well done. Let's hope that comes in for my side. But Ollie Watkins for Villa, owned by 20. Let's go to Villa. Owned by 27.5% of top 10k managers. But when we're looking at the midfield here for Aston Villa,
goal,
top 10k goal, is it? Nice. Get in. We're 2-0 up last time though, and we bottled it. So here we go again. We'll see. Anyway, not being biased at all. I did really enjoy that Bruno put 2 past Emi Martinez, and Martinez messed up. I really wanted Bruno to go up to him and do the little shimmy celebration that Martinez did when Bruno skied that penalty over the bar, but never mind. Too much class, Bruno. He's which he doesn't have because he dives all the time. Midfielder-wise, we've got some real differentials here compared to the elite managers. And we've got, Coutinho's owned by 0.64. I know he's been heavily transferred in, but he's not going to have been heavily transferred in by everyone in the top 10K. Buendia, McGinn, Ramsey obviously is a good point. But if they're on for a double game week, are either of you two Watkins owners?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a Watkins owner. I like the Watkins. I like having him. When you look at the statistics, 4 shots in that game against Man United. If we I'm going to do this and just extend it out a little bit to take in the last how many game weeks and make sure that's in here. Yeah, so Watkins has got XGI. It's only 1.8. Scott.
Spurs have equalised it with the last kick of the game.
Have they? Who scored?
Steven Bergwijn.
Steven Bergwijn?
Yeah, Matt Doherty assist.
What? That rolls back the years. God. Remember when Doherty was in everyone's fantasy team when he was at Wolves? Like literally everyone's fantasy team like 2 years ago. 2 or 3 years ago, he was like the pick. And then he went to Spurs and everyone thought he's going to play all the time and he didn't. Harry Maguire's coming on. Jesus Christ. We're really taking that for granted, aren't we? Jacob Ramsey has also been up there, 1.7 XG. Buendia, I think, looked really quite good at 6.2 million. But the thing is, you're not going to go for Buendia when you could have Ramsey at 4.6 or Coutinho at 7, and are you when Buendia's 6.2? No. It's just no one's going to do that. Ings as well. He's tending to be the guy that's getting subbed off. They're obviously resting him in case he breaks. What do we think about Villa? Who are we excited by?
I was going to move straight on to Coutinho. Even without the double game week, their run of fixtures just looks...
They've won it! Sorry, Spurs have just won the game.
As long as it's not Kane, I'm not bothered.
Steven Bergwijn!
Is it?
They scored in the 95th minute, now they've just scored in the 96th. There's 5 minutes added on time. Oh my days. Steven Bergwijn.
More assist?
I didn't see. I was just about to put the Man United game on, thinking it was game over.
God, who's coming through here? I need to find this out. This is we're live, people.
Tom Hughes' world. Tom we Hughes just live in it.
It's now time for Scott to tell us about Tom Hughes' captaincy pick this week. Scott, over to you. Tell us the story.
That'll be what happened? He had Kane and he was supposed to change it. Forgot to change it. And Kane's gotten a goal and an assist in this game.
Who was his captain supposed to be? Wasn't it Emmanuel Dennis?
Emmanuel Dennis, who got 2 points, I believe.
Yeah. It's White Rabbit's world, and we just live in it. So fair play to that extra 7 points plus bonus probably that he's going to get this week instead of that. But yeah, Aston Villa's fixture run anyway. We've lingered on this one quite a long time. Anyone who was listening's definitely left now. We are after this potential double game week. They've got Leeds again, if they do play Leeds, but it'll probably be Everton and Burnley. Leeds, Newcastle, Watford at home, Brighton away, Southampton at home, West Ham away, Arsenal at home, and then Wolves, Spurs, and Liverpool. So they've got a really good run for the next 5 games, even after this potential double game week. So the next 7 games potentially. So striker Watkins obviously is the option. I think Coutinho is a good one. Who are you taking up for Coutinho, Callum?
Foden, because I've had enough of Pep Roulette.
Foden, because you're done with him. Defenders. Should we discuss defenders for Aston Villa? Is Luca Digne somebody that we can forgive?
I was going to have a gamble on him this week in my exodus of Chelsea players.
Talk to me, Digne.
Yeah, I think he's going to be out of the ones they've got. He's given the most attack in there, so I'm not expecting a lot of defensive returns from any of the defenders, to be honest. Yeah. So if I'm going to get rid of a Chelsea player, I want some attacking return defenders. That's what made me pump for him.
If we look at Cristiano Ronaldo there, apparently, if we look at the statistics for the one game that we've got with Deeney being there, you've 6 crosses, Cash has 5. Cash had more successful crosses, but fine, whatever. He was still putting the balls into the box. Total passes and total final third passes up there with Matty Cash, successful ones again as well, right up there with him. I think you could genuinely go for either one of these guys.
I would just be careful. The only clean sheet they've kept in the last 8 games against Norwich.
Yeah.
They seem to be leaky, so it feels like you need to get that attacking return because there was not going to be a clean sheet coming though.
Absolutely. We look at his touch map up here. It absolutely, you're doing it for attacking returns. Without a doubt, you're not getting a Villa player in hoping they're going to keep clean sheets. This is what Gerrard did though at Rangers, didn't he? His first seasons, he was there.
Tavernier, wasn't it?
Tavernier. He was there, captain when he right back and took penalties.
Yeah,
which is one of the weirdest things. But still, he did really well. But yeah, the wing backs got forward. They hardly kept any clean sheets. And the next season after, they only conceded I can't remember what it was, 1 goal in the first 8 games or something stupid. They were so good defensively. So Gerrard's got the potential to be able to sort them out at the back, but yeah, it's never his first priority. It seems to always be something that they're working on moving forward instead. So yeah, Villa wise, I probably wouldn't be racing to get their defenders, but what I would say is that if you were looking at moving money from potentially someone like Alonso to anybody else, then Digne is a good option to go for. If we have a look at defenders themselves, and I wanted to quickly just do this for game week 16. We're 16, shall we? 15 or 16. Having a look at total passes in the final third for defenders. I mean, Trent and Cancelo are just miles ahead of anyone else in terms of touches in the final third. Cucurella, someone to watch out for. Robertson up there as well, and Alonso obviously as well. But Cucurella, impressive. He's up there. Soufal as well in terms of picking up the ball and having touches in attacking areas. Crosses, Alonso second for crosses. Trent just miles ahead. You can tell how they play. Robertson up there with Soufal again. Soufal being an option. Set pieces, person who's taking corners. Trent and Robertson 30-14. Alonso on there as well, but Cresswell, I got Cresswell in for West Ham because he's come back from injury, and I wanted someone a little bit different to Soufal. So yeah, I think they're all options. Cucurella is interesting. Soufal's interesting. Cresswell, but there's no feature here other than Matty Cash with key passes. Potentially, you could get him in for Aston Villa. But yeah, those are that's where we're up to with defenders. Scott, January transfer window. We're in the middle of it. There's a few potential moves still to happen. Potentially Jesse Lingard going to Newcastle is an interesting one as well. You've got Chris Wood who's gone to Newcastle. Trippier has gone to Newcastle. I mean, anyone else going to Newcastle? Probably quite a few people, aren't there? Still potentially, they've got that centre back that they're trying to get.
Juan Carlos, is it?
Yeah, for Sevilla, who's just their defense has been ridiculous this season in particular. So that'd be a really good sign of centre back. But any January transfers that have stood out to you who are potential options other than Coutinho, who we've just talked about, and any January transfers that have come in that might have affected other players as well? Anybody that you think stand out for us to look out for?
Yeah, it's not really so far other than the Coutinho one, like you said, and we've kind of said who's going to be giving away your Buendia, your Ramses, maybe. I think it might be the Buendia. I feel like Ramsey gets the nod a lot there. I think if Jesse Lingard goes, it'll be a very interesting one. How much is he? 7 on the game?
Yeah, less than that. I'll just quickly.
Is it less than that?
Yeah, he's 6 points. He's 6 point something though. Jalen 6.7.
Okay, so I think that's a very interesting one if he goes, because now you've got a Newcastle side which has got Callum Wilson, St. Maxim. You've got obviously Chris Wood as that aerial presence. So you've got a team that's actually looking pretty good attacking wise. Obviously, that's where you want your returns. Obviously, you're not worried about your defense on that one. So I think that one will be very interesting to look at. And we know from how Eddie Howe likes to play, he likes to win games by scoring more goals. He doesn't like to keep clean sheets. He likes to win a 4-3. So I think that'll be one to keep an eye on. And if he did what he did at West Ham end of that last season, he's going to be such an asset to jump on early if he can as well.
Newcastle's fixtures are interesting as well, aren't they? Like when you look at Leeds, Everton, Villa, West Ham, Brentford, Brighton, and they're at a point where they quite genuinely need to do something. Like they have to get results. They've obviously massively improved their squad and their players. Anyone fancy a punt on them or any of the Newcastle?
I'd go for a Lingard at Newcastle over a Coutinho right now, because Lingard's playing every single minute of that game pretty much. He's gonna start regardless, whereas Coutinho is, I think, still a bit up in the air. So if it was for me right now, I would go for a Lingard.
Callum, your thoughts?
It's just the Newcastle factor. I'd probably be wait and see. No, that's burnt me quite a lot this season. There's a lot of waiting and seeing, but I think it's just you can't really justify a big move to Newcastle. I don't know who I'd get rid of.
I think it's an interesting point that you make, because I think you can probably have both of them and be okay. Like it depends who else you want to have in your team. Especially if, for example, let's just throw it out there, you went Trent, Robertson, and Cancelo at the back, then you went for a Salah, Bowen, Rafinha, Coutinho, and Lingard midfield. You know, you can go with then Dennis Watkins and I don't know whoever else you want to go for up front, who's bang average. Calvert-Lewin, be good.
I was glad to see King didn't get a mention there.
Hey, listen, don't have this about King. This week should have been King's free hit at having 2 games, and then Nigeria and Dennis, and it's just all not gone right there, has it? Let's be honest. Everyone else was allowed to go, and then Dennis wasn't.
It's tricky.
It's absolute nonsense. I was one of the reasons I picked King in the first place was because I thought I knew Dennis had missed 2 or 3 weeks. Scott, I can hear your commentary. I'm on a lag here. That's something's just happened. But Brentford are attacking. Oh, it's cleared. In terms of fixtures with people having games outstanding, Newcastle have got 2 fixtures to rearrange. So have Aston Villa. If you're looking to build a wildcard team moving forward, Leicester have got 4 games to rearrange. Just so you know, Norwich, Everton, Burnley, and then I think it's like West Ham or something like that. Arsenal have got 4 games to rearrange. I wouldn't pick them right now because they've got too many blanks. And Burnley have got 5 games to rearrange. A lot of other teams have got 2s and 1s, but Brentford, West Ham, and Man City all have none to rearrange. So, just so you know, there's going to be some double game weeks coming up for Leicester because they're out of Europe as well, aren't they? Because that other team missed that last minute penalty, which would have got them through in the Europa League. So Leicester are out of Europe, aren't they?
Are they not in the Conference League?
Oh, they got into the Conference League. 3, is it? I'm on too much of a lag here. It's killing me. Right, hold on. Let me watch it. Oh, Bruno, did he get involved? Rashford hit it. Scott's world, we're just living it. Another assist for Bruno Fernandes. But guess who's gone off the pitch now? Ronaldo.
He went off 5 minutes ago. It's fine. We've been cruising for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's and look, Ranitz's talking to Ronaldo. He's grabbed him by the arm.
He was fuming when he went off.
Weird one. Oh well. Show some professionalism, Cristiano. Rashi. Love you, Rashi. Sir Marcus. So anyway, looking at these fixtures moving forward, yeah. Any January transfers caught your eye, Callum? Anybody else to mention? Or anything that you've seen that potentially might happen that you wanted to mention that you might be interested in bringing
in? Not really, I think. Yeah, it's just the Coutinho one. The one perk of the January ones is you get a bit of delay on the market price changing at least, but there's been nothing that's just I've got too giddy about, and I don't know what else looks like it's coming in that I wouldn't want to wait and see about.
Yeah, fine, I get that. Well, there's an international break, isn't there? After these ones, I always want to make sure I get it right. Oh, it's not the international break. There is the
March. I don't think.
No, it's the FA Cup. That's what it is in terms of weekend. After this game week, it's 21st. I'm saying that, is it? It's the 21st. So is there internationals in there? Yeah, international break. Yeah, there is an international break after game week 23.
Another one.
Yeah, I thought, but not another one. Then potentially still Villa will come back after that double game week. Have that double game week. Something to note, by the way. If the double game week doesn't get announced before the deadline, it can't become a double game week after it's been locked in. So after the deadline, Villa can't just have another fixture and it be a double game. They can take it away from you, but they can't give it to you. So what can happen is that that actually could end up going into game week 24, and their double game week could end up going into that week. But there's no potential of a triple game week because game week 24 is a midweek game week, and then game week 25 is the weekend after that. So they couldn't have a triple, but they could have a double though in either one of those game weeks, and I think they will. Personally, so Coutinho too, we're going in there. Good time to quickly have a look at the fixtures moving forward, and then we will also have a look at captains for the weekend coming up before we wrap up here today on our first live one. Which hasn't gone too bad actually. I thought my lag might be a real problem after last week's ridiculous me having to fill in for every time podcast.
You got your dial-up working this week, haven't you? So you've done well.
It's literally George is right next to me, just pedaling. She's knackered now.
Isn't it that dialing?
Pedal. So we've got fixtures moving forward. Villa are top of there. Then you're looking at City. So looking at this, I think Coutinho is a great option in terms of a gamble at price at 7 million. I think he's going to feature, do really well. And then Ollie Watkins again seems to be the main man for Villa. Just playing all the time, even though for obvious reasons Ings seems to play through the middle when he is starting. City, would I double up at the back? Yeah, potentially so. Would I double up in midfield? Probably not, because rotation will kick you square where you don't want it to. So I think De Bruyne is my number one shout. Then I'm going to stick with Foden though personally. Newcastle, wait and see who they buy. Leeds, quick mention. Rafinha, they've got Newcastle at home, Villa, Everton, Man United, Spurs and Leicester, who all can't keep clean sheets. If you haven't got Rafinha, then getting on him, nothing wrong with that. If you've got him, keep him, because they've got a lot of players coming back. Their performance, I mean, I really enjoyed that game, that West Ham game.
I know it's jumping on a massive bandwagon, but that third finish by Mr. Harrison, that just said how much confidence has he got after that. Maybe even have a look.
5.5, 1.2% owned in his last two games. He's got 9 points and 20 points. So if you want to take a gamble on him, take a punt on him, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, considering the last two fixtures he's done really well. They could have a double game week this week against Newcastle and then Villa, and then play Villa again, home and away, back to back. At 5.5, fine. You're just always going for Rafinha over Harrison, and you're never wasting a midfield slot on two Leeds players, are you? I mean, if you really wanted to try and do something different and you had a transfer you could use, then yeah, fair enough. But seemed a bit freak to me, personally.
What's happening to that Rafinha transfer?
Fell through.
Yeah, it's not going to happen in January, I don't think. And this might be his last window that he doesn't leave Leeds. But anyway, we'll see. He's so good. You know, when you watch him play, he's just properly quality, isn't he, Rafinha?
He's not quite that Declan Rice level, but he's getting there.
He's played unreal, hasn't he? He's really stepped. He's gone from being 80 million to 100 million, hasn't he? He's English, and he's young. I mean, he's.
It's the full package. He plays like a Jerry plays like a Paul Pogba when he's in form, but Declan Rice does it every week.
A Paul Pogba for France.
Yeah, Paul Pogba for France. You're right, Paul Pogba for France. Unfortunately, can't wait for him to leave. Actually, now Pogba, we can just move on from him. He just gets talked about so often. Big clear out United this summer, even though it's bad for business, it's good for the club and the culture. I think you're right. Declan Rice looks incredible, and I wouldn't be surprised if City are in for him this year, because obviously they need a holding midfielder as well for the squad, and they were talking about Calvin Phillips, but we'll see. Man United options, I think that Bruno's the only one that's not getting rotated. He's got the captain's armband, but I don't really like the position that he's playing majority of the time, but he has then got 2 assists again today. He's got 2 goals and 2 assists in a double game week. What more could you want from your captain, Scott?
I'm so happy. I've got 97 points in a minute.
Oh my God. That's like double what I've got.
I'm so happy.
Just what a week. What a week.
I think it's going to be the first time I'm going to hit over 100. I'm so happy.
It's well, obviously he's going to get 3 bonus.
He's on for 3 bonus in a minute.
Yeah, so he's getting another 6 points to go in there. And yeah, absolutely. You can't really drop him for next week now, can you?
Yeah, we'll see.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Nice one. It's about time you had a couple of good weeks in a row, and I'm happy to see you coming at the league. I mean, overall rank will be great, but also your game week rank will be fantastic, won't it, this week?
Yeah, be right up there. Plus, could do with David De Gea conceding.
I mean, I can't lie.
It's quite good because a lot of few people have got David De Gea.
I'm buzzing off that because I really wanted us to win like 3-1. I think that's really good. Just clicking onto live FPL for all.
Has anyone got Ivan Toney still?
No. 52.3%. I think FPL Focal had De Gea as captain this week as well, who's like top 10 in the world. He's one of the YouTube contributors. He's got De Gea as captain. That's not gone too well for him. In terms of Brentford, yeah, Ivan Toney 3.2%. Yeah, top 10k. So some people have still got him. The rest of the fixtures to look on the ticker. Watford, everyone would talk Watford to death. West Ham, everyone knows what's going on with West Ham players and assets. It's Bowen is your main one for obvious reasons. Soufal, I think, also looks really good at the back and good value, but Cresswell's a nice gamble, takes set pieces. And then we can go on to fixtures for this weekend coming up. So it's a Friday deadline. It's 6:30. It starts off with the massive game. Watford versus Norwich, live on Sky, Friday Night Football. It's a must win for Norwich. It's a must not lose for Watford if must win, because it's at home against bottom of the league. What we're looking at in terms of players in this one, potential captaincy options.
Norwich are third bottom now.
They're
in that. They're out of the relegation zone.
Burnley are bottom, aren't they? And is Newcastle below them?
Yep. So Norwich win that. They're out the bottom 3.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Fair enough. Big game for both of these teams in terms of avoiding relegation. Then Everton Villa. So Duncan Ferguson versus Steven Gerrard. Again, great options. They're early kickoffs, less chance of COVID cancellations, which always makes a big difference. Brentford Wolves, Leeds Newcastle. I mean, there's some big Leeds Newcastle's a big game as well. Newcastle need to get a result out of that one, but Leeds look better. Man United West Ham, massive game for the top 4. Southampton Man City. I think we're going to see a lot of Cancelo captainers again, this week, because you could go for Josh King and Dennis, but everyone was like, "Oh, I'm going to do my Watford gamble this week," and it's just kicked everyone down while they're down. So I think a lot of people then are going to bottle it and go away from them, even though they might actually have the best fixture on paper, and look at City. But then City is the rotation. You're probably looking at De Bruyne this week, Scott.
De Bruyne or Cancelo. Yes, one of them. Probably De Bruyne.
I mean, if I had De Bruyne, he's my captain this week, looking at these fixtures. Arsenal Burnley could be called off. You never know, do you? I wouldn't touch that fixture with a barge pole, if I'm honest. Palace Liverpool, again, someone like Trent. I think Trent might get some armbands as well this week. So might Jota. And then Leicester Brighton, which is the team that concedes loads of goals against the team that can't score many. And then Chelsea Spurs to wrap up. So for me, it's the City, it's De Bruyne. If you've got De Bruyne, you could look at Cancelo. I think he's a fantastic option in this game week. You could look at Trent or Jota or even something like that in that game. King or Dennis. Callum, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll probably go stick with Dennis. Trusted him.
You love Dennis, don't you?
I actually do, yeah. We got him so cheap as well.
Yeah, he's biggest price rise in the game this year, 1.1 million. It's gone up from 5 million to 6.1. Yeah. I just don't know. I've got quite a difficult captaincy decision this week because I don't know if I can trust Foden to start or not. And if he comes off the bench, I had this, didn't I, with Saka? He was my captain. Foden was my captain. Saka was my vice. Saka scored twice, and then Foden came on for 5 minutes and got 1 point, which kicked me for 13 points. So that wasn't the best week I've ever had.
I think there's one team there we can look at for a captaincy choice as well if they play anything like they did at the weekend. Leeds United.
Yeah.
Rafinha, I say a captaincy choice, Leeds United, or if you're going to be really maverick, you Jack Harrison, because that game against Newcastle, playing like they did, in front of that Ellen Road crowd, I think that could be worth a gamble. If you've not got any of them, probably if you've not got a Kevin De Bruyne, really, or a Cancelo, for me.
Yeah, it's interesting about who you could end up going for. There is quite a lot of options this week, and I do like that. And we've had Martin Wheel in the chat saying Rafinha captain.
There you go.
I like that, Martin. If you're bold enough to do it this week, I don't know if Martin even got him in on his wild card. I can't remember if he had him or not. I think he did actually because of the double game weeks. But you tell us, Martin. In terms of captaincy options. Man United can't keep a clean sheet for anything. So even if you wanted to go Bowen, you probably still could do. The number one option, I think the premium Premier game to go for in that is City playing Southampton. And then, you could go for a lot of other options. But it's nice again. We're talking about different captains. We're talking about different options for captaincy. And it's not just Salah every week. And there's opportunities for people to do better.
It could also change if Aston Villa do get that double game week. That could change your big game for probably more than likely.
A really good point. That I still don't think I'd go Coutinho. I think I'd go Watkins if I was going to go for a captain. He just seems to be the guy that plays the most minutes and also is the attacking force. He takes the most shots and he gets involved the most. And Ings isn't playing 90 minutes that often at the moment. So if he comes off, then Watkins is through the middle. Martin, well, he did put Rafinha in. Back your boys. I like that. Well, back your boys and captain them this weekend then, especially if they've got a double game week. If they've got Newcastle and Villa this week, you better be captaining mine. I'm going to be checking that one out and watching that one.
Are you feeling all right as well, Martin? You're watching?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm recovering from getting his ACL fixed. So that's quite serious surgery. So rest up, Martin. Make sure you don't do any work. Make sure Laura's making all your cups of tea and coffee and your dinner. And if you are watching Laura, don't be too nice to him. So we'll call it there today, boys. I'm going to stop the recording for podcast listeners, and also for if I save the video at this point, we'll stay on live to watch Man United finish off on this one. But for all you podcast listeners, bye for now.
No, honestly, just slipped down the bonus points behind fucking Greenwood.
Greenwood, has he?
Yeah, I'm so annoyed.
I've still got him in.
Oh no, it was in. He was nearly in.
Was he? I've still got him in draft, Greenwood. Not that at any point, because I don't really care about draft anymore. Because someone called Martin Wheels winning draft. So oh my god, he was.
If he's second in bonus points, does he get? But he's got joint. Does he get 2 or 1?
Joint saying it's 2.
All right, so 4. I would end on 99. Fuck it now.
Would you? Didn't he get?
Because that cleaned up. He didn't get his clean sheet.
The clean sheet's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brutal.
He is sniffing here though. He's in. He's in. Oh, he's done the worst thing I've ever seen. He's just chipped into the keeper's hands. Oh,
he was offside anyway.
I don't think he was.
He was.
I think his left back were playing him on then.
Was he? I thought he waved at the did that. Yeah, Martin, thank you very much, mate. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That was it was quite nerve-wracking doing a live one, wasn't it? Right, boys, I'm going to stop this session anyway as well, and I'm going to go to bed. So thank you ever so much for joining us on our live stream today. Callum, thank you ever so much for joining as well. I hope you enjoyed it. It'd be great to have you back again, back again another time. And yeah, we'll call it here. So let me end this one, and bye for now.
See you, lads. Take care.
See you later.